been a long time. I shouldn't have left you. Oh, just get into the look. Your best friend could never for you. I mean, they could. They're pretty affordable, but. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Keys Looks and Books. Today I'm going to be doing a recent reads video. I have read a lot of the books from my haul from my last video, and then some other books that were older, but I'm just going to throw them in this video. Let's get into it. The first book is Every Heart a Doorway. This is a very small book. It's a part of a longer series. I was disappointed because I saw somebody on YouTube, of course, like ranting about how the series was like 12 books long. And I think the last book in the series just recently came out, maybe in the last like year or two. And I was like, oh, let me try. I like little, quick little 1-2 books because they're pretty like packed. But this was just not very good and it was predictable. But let me tell you what it's about first before I start going on it. It's basically like a Harry Potter kind of energy. So there's like magic. At some point in their life, they are introduced to this like door basically that leads them to their perfect world or whatever. And that world kind of pertains to their personality. It has so much potential because literally every single person could at some point see a door. So there was really no ending to the series. You could have introduced as many characters as you wanted, as many different versions of a reality as you wanted. This just wasn't, there was like a random like murder case that came out of nowhere and I just didn't think it was necessary. There was already so much potential in it. And I know this is a popular series, so I was like, where's the pop? Like, I'm not seeing the pop. So I was very underwhelmed and just not a fan. Okay, so the next book that I read was a gift actually from my mentor, and she knows I love Edwidge Danticat, so she got me this. This is her newest book, Everything Inside. I was obviously really excited to start it because I love Edwidge. All of her books and all of her like short story works are always really, really good. But this one wasn't. And it hurts to say because I love her so much. Like the writing was there, like obviously she's a phenomenal writer, but the actual short stories, like I think like 1 or 2 like really, I like vibe with them really hard, like 1 or 2 of them. But as a whole, I wouldn't read it again. Yeah, and there's no real summary I could give to this because it is a collection of short stories. The summary of the book is like each sentence is like a little summary of each story. But she's a phenomenal writer. This just isn't my favorite book of hers. This was just not my favorite. Okay. The next book that I read is The Inheritance Games. This was another book that had a lot of potential. This was basically about a girl who randomly was told that she had an inheritance from an old man that had passed away that she never met before. Basically, the entire story is her trying to survive in the same house. That was one stipulation of the will, is that she had to live in the house for a year amongst the family that didn't get all of the money. This wasn't my favorite, and I actually saw somebody do a review of this book and they did say that the romance seemed like it was kind of unnecessary. And normally that's usually what I need in a book to make me want to keep reading it, is a nice like background love story, like just to have a little second storyline going along with the main plot. But this was like, it was already, my housemate's making a smoothie, so. The actual storyline just seemed like it could be so adventurous and fun. And I used to love like mystery books, and there's a lot of like scavenger hunting and figuring out like riddles and clues and things like that. The granddad was really into that. And so the house had a lot of like trick doorways and stuff like that, and hidden staircases and things like that. That was enough to make like a good story. That was enough to make somebody interested in reading it. But this was just not doing it. Like, this was so focused on the romance between the girl and one of the sons that it just wasn't necessary. It's fine to have a romance. I prefer to have one also in the story. But like, if that's not the story, if it's not a love story, babes, I'm gonna need you to say that on the cover. I'm saving the ones that I know I really liked for last, so these ones I'm just getting out of the way. This next one is I'm Thinking of Ending Things. This book is supposed to be like a thriller. This girl is going to meet her boyfriend's family for the first time, but the entire ride there, she's thinking of ending things, thinking of ending the relationship. And so you just kind of get this internal dialogue of her trying to figure out, should I really do this? I don't know if I should, stay in this relationship, if I should end it. Would it be weird to end it while I'm like about to go meet his parents? Should I tell him now? All that stuff. But then there's also, she kind of has this secret that she's not telling him, which is like, she's been getting these weird calls and like kind of creepy voicemails and all this stuff. And this book was weird. I don't know how else to tell y'all. It was strange. She gets to the house and then she's looking at his baby pictures and they look like her. Like his baby pictures look like her when she was a baby. And so I'm just like, well, what does that mean, And I think the point of this book, and I read the authors, the discussion with the author in the back. Basically, he just wanted to write this book so that you would think. He just wanted to make you think about reality, and he wanted to make you confused. Like he wanted to scare you, but make you not know why you're scared. So the story just, it flips on itself. I don't even know if I wouldn't recommend it. That's the thing. Watching the movie can help, but it's also a completely different experience and low key a different story. Like there are things that happen in the movie that just have nothing to do with the book. Read at your own will, at your own discretion. Okay, so the next book that I'm gonna talk about is The House in the Cerulean Sea. Now let's get to the good book. The House in the Cerulean Sea. This is so sweet. I loved this book. I saw people crying when they read this book. Okay, so here's this guy, right? He works at this office for orphanages, and he goes to kind of like review and like check in on the spaces and like rate them and all that stuff to see if the orphanage should continue or if it's like low-key problematic and should be shut down. They know he's really great at his job. His job is his life, so he's really, really good at it because that's all he does. Can't remember the exact like floor. Let's say it's like the 5th floor, like the floor or whatever. It's like they want you on the 5th floor. Like the head they want to talk to you, whatever. Like the top-notch people, and they're like, we have a special job for you. Basically gets sent to this orphanage that is not a normal orphanage, but wait, I'm lying. All of the orphanages, so they're for children who have like special abilities. This one in particular though, they have a couple of specific abilities that have never been seen before, and so nobody's really been there for a long time. But then he goes there and with his little clipboard, and he's like making notes, and he's very like stiff, but they loosen him up and they make him like sort of like a father figure to them, and it's so cute. But it is a quick read. And it's sweet, and there's little surprises left and right, and you learn about all the different children and their characters, and you learn to like love them individually too. If you just need to feel good, this is the way to go. And the last 2 books that I'm going to talk about, one is Get a Life, Chloe Brown, and then the other is Take a Hint, Danny Brown. I didn't know that this was actually the first book in the series. I actually read this one second. It doesn't really matter. You do get like one spoiler, but I didn't realize it was a spoiler for this book. But you can kind of guess it's about relationships. So you can kind of guess what's going to happen. Girl, first of all, let's just say this off the rip. This is not for the kiddies. This is not for the babies. These are not for the children, okay? All of them basically go on their own version of a love story, and we get to see what happens as they navigate whoever that love story is with. And so Danny's is with the security guard of her building where she teaches. She's, I think, an assistant English professor or something like that. Okay, so here's where I just rant for far too long. But basically, the book is about a friendship to fake relationship to lovers kind of story, and there is a lot of adult content, so that's why I said it wasn't for the girlies. And basically, if you're into that, fake relationship to full relationship kind of trope, then you'll really, really like it. Really adorable, great representation all throughout the book of different types of people, and I had a great time. So back to the video. And the first book in the series, which I ended up reading second, is Get a Life, Chloe Brown. But this person is a chronically ill computer geek with a goal, a plan, and a list. So basically, I think she just moved out from her parents' house. She has this like landlord, I think, or like handyman that works there. It's kind of like a hate to love type of vibe, but she's trying to get a new life. And so she makes a list of all the things that she wants to do. She's moved out now, you know, she's trying to get through some stuff. And so some of the stuff that she says she wants to do is enjoy a drunken night out, go camping, have meaningless but thoroughly enjoyable sex, travel the world with nothing but hand luggage, and do something bad. Okay, if it looks different, it's because my camera died. So, or it didn't die, it overheated. And so she's going through this list, and I think at some point she realized, I can't do this by myself. I'd rather do it with someone who can help me go, you know, get through everything. I think so that mentally she can get through it, but also physically because of her illness. And so she realizes that she can, you know, do a sort of trade-off with Redford, since he needs a website built and she's really good with computers. It's like her thing. In exchange for her building his website, he was going to help her check off her list, basically. And of course, like any rom-com, anytime there's a common goal and you spend a lot of time with someone, typically you fall in love. But of course, it's never that easy. They both know that they like each other, but there's just so many obstacles that come along the way. And so we just get to walk through this adventure with them, her trying to, you know, check off these boxes and, you know, have a fulfilling life. And then him going through a lot of like family issues as well, and relationship issues and past like traumas that he's navigating as well. And they just help each other get through that. And it's a really beautiful story. It's very witty. It makes you laugh out loud. And I would say take like both of these. I think particularly this one though, this one's particularly funny. Like I remember laughing out loud when reading this, just because Danny is hilarious. Like her actual character and like everything that Talia Hibbert makes her out to be is so funny. All of these nuances that she adds to her characters are just so well done. So really, really good series. Yeah. So I think that's it for all of the books that I've read recently. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you've read any of these books, be sure to leave a comment and let me know how you felt about them. We can fangirl about some, or maybe we can go on them if we didn't like them. Let's see how y'all feel about these. And I will see you all in my next video. It's giving all that needs to be given. Winter vibes. All right, I'm done. Bye, friends.